Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. This is a Hug Nation production, hosted by me, John Halcyon Stinn. And we are here to share gratitude and to check in with ourselves and remind ourselves who we want to be today. You know, it's one of those things that the answer to those two questions could be the same every day. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't ask and you shouldn't answer. Because if you get into a rut and you know what the answer is and you maybe even say the answer but you don't feel it and think it, it doesn't work. So if your answer every day is I'm grateful for my dog and my family, I want to hear it every day. But as you say it, make sure that you are simply, make sure that you are not simply regurgitating an answer that has made sense in the past. So that you're bypassing the experience of answering the question and you're simply providing the answer. Because if you do take a moment to think and go, oh my gosh, my dog is so awesome. Grateful for my dog. It counts. It builds the gratitude muscle. But I would suggest that if you're going to do a gratitude that is basic or kind of traditional or something that you've done many times in the past, try to dig into it a little bit. So instead of saying, I'm so grateful for my dog, say, I'm grateful for the walk around the block I had with my dog today. I had this moment of really appreciating the connection we have. I appreciate the look that she gave me when I got home. Feel the experience. See the moment so that it is a return to the way you were feeling in that moment instead of just the words that answer the question. Good morning! Welcome to Love Morning. I'm trying another little tech test today, so if you have difficulty hearing or seeing, do let me know. Thank you for your non-consensual, unpaid beta testing job position that I have assigned to you. Good morning, Janet. Good morning. Good morning on this beautiful day. Dun, 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 dun. We gather together and we all like to say dun, 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 dun. Gratitude for things that make us feel good. Dun, 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 dun. Everybody here in the neighborhood. Dun, 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 dun. I find that I'm often rhyming the same words. Dun, 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 dun. It kind of makes me feel like a big turd. Dun, 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 dun. But at least it's a song. At least it is a song. Everybody sing along. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Love Morning. Just to fill you in on the little test I'm doing, if you notice, I'm not wearing the lavalier mic right now. But guess what? It's hanging from the ceiling. It's right here right now. It's hanging just above camera. And I'm going to try to test and see what does that sound like. Luckily, we live in a time when I run almost every audio that I record through an AI cleaner upper that Adobe provides. So even if it's not perfect, it can still work perfectly for me, potentially. Thank you, Lisa. It's a nice glowing heart necklace. I've had this love glowing sign behind me for a long time, and I've been trying to think of, is there ways that I could extend the view so that it's a little bit more balanced? And so I have this little sort of neon-y, it's not really neon, but it is, it doesn't really show up, but it's bright pink in my room. And then I have this bright pink selenium, I think is the stone. this little glowing, cool thing that I like to wear at events. And so, you know what? Let's just embrace the pink glow wherever possible. Hello to you, Dawn in sunny Utah. Dawn is also wearing pink. Yes! Well, happy to be spreading pink with you. Good morning, high noon. Lisa saying it all works. Nice. I've been thinking a lot last couple weeks about set, because I'm getting ready to record some videos that are part of a course that I'm making, and I almost never prepare for the things I record. I record live, and then if something's good is in it, I take clips from it or I edit it up. But I'm working on the scripts, and I'm rewriting the scripts, and I'm working on all these to make it as good as possible. And so if I'm gonna make it as good as possible, I wanna make sure that I figure out the location, the set that is ideal, but also balanced with convenience. You know, like I could go to I could rent a video production facility, but I really would like the ability to record in my home when I want to. So what I'm trying to figure out now is, like, is this room the best? I recorded in the other room the other day, and that worked pretty good. In that one I was standing. Right now I'm sitting. And then the other thing is I've got this desire to set up my basement as a green screen studio, and then I could record anything. I can make anything that's set, as long as I get the green screen good enough so there's not like a green halo around me, or I don't wear a green tie so you can see through me. But the benefits of doing it in a green screen is then as long as I keep the lighting consistent, I can be editing the footage a month later and be like, oh, you know what, I should have said blank, or I thought of a much better example. I could go re-record the example and drop it right in, and it would work, instead of having to recreate exactly how the room is going to look, because quite honestly the angles and the plants and all this stuff is not consistent day by day. Good morning, Steve. Lisa says, I'm a pink-haired girl, so the more the pink, the better. I sang that because it sounded like it should be lyrics. I was a pink-haired boy for the majority of my life. Almost the majority of my life. But I am, I still identify as a pink-haired person. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning. Anybody have anything that they're feeling grateful for that they would like to share? What am I grateful for? I'm grateful for some beautiful quality time with my beloved yesterday. We got a new outdoor lounger chair, and so I asked if she had a busy day, so I asked if she had some time for some connection time, and I set up the massage table. I gave her a massage, which she fell asleep on, so then I let her sleep, and then when she woke up, I had her robe ready, and I was in my robe, and we walked outside to our new lounger and laid on our back porch in the lounger, taking in the canyon behind us, and it was one of those moments where I really felt like this now is awesome. It's so easy to be present when it's so awesome. Let me take that back. It's not so easy to be present, but this is why we practice presence. This is why I've been doing meditation every morning the last several weeks, is so that when I am in a moment that is beautiful, I can notice when my mind is taking me out into thoughts. I go, no, why are you thinking about that now? And this moment is incredible. So stay with it. Tune into all the places where our bodies are touching. Tune into the breeze on your face and the rustling of the leaves and the bird songs. Just be present, because this is what it's about. This is what you're chasing. These peaceful moments in the arms of your beloved. You are dousing yourself with champagne at the finish line as we speak. So don't wander off into your to-do list. Hello, High Noon. High Noon says, gratitude for recognizing the struggles of generation biases. Knowing my mom says this is a man's job, she really is saying, I've been conditioned to think I am not strong enough. I love the way you said that, recognizing the struggles of generational biases. It's so easy to bring our frustration and our judgment and our awareness of maybe things in the past that are better now, and to, as we see the difference, bring judgment, anger, frustration into our view and towards the people that don't have the vantage point that we have acquired. And that's really, it's hard. But I think it's one of the skills that is critical if we are going to find harmony in the current world. Because we have a world that's changing so fast, and when you are angry with someone who has not yet made evolutionary steps in their worldview, there's nothing that makes somebody dig in more aggressively than you judging them for what they know to be true. That attack, it makes someone defensive, it turns it into a war, and it just doesn't work. And we see it all the time. It's hard not to. It's hard not to feel righteous, but if your true goal is harmony and understanding, I think the only way that you can get there is to acknowledge, I have compassion and respect for the journey that you have gone through to be where you are right now. And without vocalizing this, having the thought, I hope and I will try to walk a walk and demonstrate a value system that allows you to see, learn, and be inspired by this difference. And so then they can make the action steps of walking towards this new way of seeing things, instead of being attacked and digging in and seeing that we are enemies in this war. Instead of seeing that we're on the same side, it's just that we have different things to learn from each other. So, bravo, High Noon. Stephanie says, I am so grateful that I get to garden today. I've been so busy that it's been neglected and I have missed my happy place. Yay for gardening. I get so much joy from plants. I feel you. Anything specific that you're gardening? Is it, you got veggies, you got flowers, indoor plants? High Noon says, I want her to see she is strong. As long as you don't put too much attachment to that expectation, because that's a dangerous perspective. If you have a desire for someone else's change, you're kind of doomed to be frustrated. You can have you can wish something for someone. You can want her to see that she's strong, as long as it doesn't detract from your ability to love them as they are. It's such an easy trap to see someone as their potential and then have resentment or disappointment when they don't change. But that's on us. Stephanie says, I'm gardening veggies, flowers, and medicinal herbs. Go get your hands dirty. Thank you for sharing. Dick says, can't drop in, but I love the add-ons to the set. Thanks, Dick. If you're still here, I'll have you know that I've been editing my 5-module gratitude course all week and spending quite a bit of time learning quite a bit. And if you missed it, I have a mic hanging from the ceiling right now. That's how I'm doing audio. So I'm just testing and learning and figuring out how I'm gonna do stuff. So you've been in my mind, Dick. Thank you. Anyone else have something that they're feeling grateful for that they would like to share? I'm grateful that I had the just inspiration yesterday to reach out to some people. Occasionally people will reach out to me specifically it was over the last year, because I've been pretty vocal about my version of sobriety and eliminating ketamine from my life and how I was addicted to ketamine. And so a number of people, some weird sound is happening, I'm not sure where that's coming from. And so I've had a handful of people reach out who are serious about wanting to change. And so I happily took the time to listen and to share the things that have worked for me. And so I just yesterday decided, I'm just going to leave voice messages to those people, letting them know that I'm thinking about them, and without any judgment of where they're at. I don't want to feel guilty if you are still struggling, but I'm thinking about them and I love them. And that felt really good. It felt like a nice love ambassador act to just send a message, a little voice note of love, and I'm thinking about you. I encourage you to make that a part of your daily stuff, You can even do it in the bathroom, and normally you're scrolling Instagram, just leave a little voice message. Hey! Thinking about you. Hope all is well. I love you. Wouldn't you like to get a message like that today from anybody? So, yeah, let's all try to do that. Should I do that right now? You're so welcome, High Noon. Sean! Good to see you, Sean. Sean says, grateful for my 1-year-old daughter who is in my lap, very active, developing her personality. It's a joy daily. I've actually hung out with quite a few parents lately, and one of my favorite questions to ask is, tell me about your kids, especially if they have multiple kids. It's can you describe their personalities? Because I think it sometimes takes parenting for people to really understand how kids are not blank slates when they come into the world, that they are born with a personality, with distinct aspects of the way they are that are different. So, 2 siblings, all the same conditions in their lives, but vastly different in their demeanors. So if you've got it, Sean, you want to share it? No pressure, but how would you describe the personality, the temperament of your 1-year-old? Good morning, Gerbot. Gerbot says, I like the glowy and the return of the white. Thanks. I'm wearing a One Golden Thread t-shirt. It's like my new favorite brand. They're super comfy. They're these wide neck shirts that are pretty pricey, but I bought one and I loved it. And then I learned that they had like factory seconds, so I got a 3-pack that were affordable. Of course, this one has holes in the back, but if I stay facing forward, you would never know. Anyone else have any gratitude they'd like to share? I'd love to hear what you're grateful for. One of the things that I've been talking about in this course, I give like kind of like, here are some prompts if you're struggling to find gratitude. And one of them is, what's something that maybe isn't going right? Can you use that as a flip focal point to notice what the things that are going right? Like, my shoulders, I think I have tendonitis in both shoulders, and it's very frustrating. But I'm grateful how much I can do even with that. And I'm grateful for how every other joint in my body is working so smoothly that I don't think about them all day long. Incredible. And I'm grateful that tomorrow is First Saturdays. So I get to hang out with beautiful people, some of whom will be volunteers and some who will be clientele, and get to gift and just have no other purpose of being other than to try to be nice to other humans. I've been gone for 2 months, so this will be a welcome return to such a nourishing part of my life. Sean says she is a go-getter. Walked at 11 months, pushes her boundaries of what she can do. She's strong-willed, unafraid, and she did just pick out a pink dress herself the other day. Nice. Thanks, Sean. Gerbot says, grateful for a Friday off of work. Woo woo. Got any plans? I'm grateful for a little coffee. I was doing so well off of caffeine, but I'm back on the caffeinated train. Good morning, Sherry. Good to see you. Sherry says, grateful for a student services department that's been helpful for me at school. Getting tutors, and they always have food. There's older people like me returning to school. It feels productive. Grateful for my adult children. They are my best friends. That is the greatest treasure in the world. Congratulations for winning. Grateful for Pride Month. Grateful for my cool, kick-ass daughter who is queer, a firefighter, a world traveler. I'm so grateful for her friendship. Thank you, Sherry. Pride Month. Not sure what the best way for me to acknowledge or celebrate, or I will say, I believe that everyone should have full rights, and we should celebrate every human that loves another human. And we should support and celebrate any consensual sex that any humans want to have with each other. Make love, feel love, hallelujah. And any legislation or judgment or anything that inhibits the heart connection or body pleasure of consenting adults is sinful. I sometimes think about if my life would be different if I wasn't raised in such a homophobic era. We were exposed to 0 gay people that were not the butt of jokes. In movies, gay characters were flaming and ridiculous. At my school, in high school, we had 0 out gay people. There was one boy who was quite feminine and was ridiculed relentlessly. But really, anybody that expressed anything that was questionable would be called gay and faggot, and it was scary. I remember being very afraid of being labeled a faggot. And I think that fear is deep in me. And so that when I got older and was like mentally okay with the idea of exploring more in my life, I tried to have some bisexual experiences, and I tried to have a gay experience too, and without much success. The biology was not working, if you catch my drift. There's like a circuit, like it wasn't connecting. But I wonder how much of that is biological and how much of that is cultural. How much of that is just these deep ground shame, fear stuff about it. But I like to think of myself as a political bisexual. That I believe that, or a political omnisexual. I want to have sex with anyone that I want to. I think everyone should have the right to that. Consensually, of course. And it's so tragic that there are so many people that have to live in fear or have to hide their truth in order to avoid consequences and ridicule and persecution. And so my heart hurts for all the pain and shame and hiding that anyone has had to do, because the world that they've been exposed to is not one that openly accepted their truth. And that concept of openly and celebrating people's authentic truth is such a huge part of my life. I'm so dedicated and evangelistic about the power of belonging and radical acceptance. And it's so damaging to have so many people that at the most basic level, they know that they are not going to have radical inclusion based on the gender of the person that they are attracted to. So, thank you to those with the courage to be who they are in the face of a world that doesn't celebrate it. Thank you for inspiring. Thank you for your courage. I think that proud, open people of gay, lesbian, trans, queer, I don't know all the appropriate acronyms and letters, but anybody that is openly living a lifestyle, a persona, an identity that is outside the status quo, that is activism. And it is inspiring to people way outside of whatever category you are in. So on behalf of a world that wants everyone to be celebrated, thank you for having the courage to let us celebrate you. Thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. Kirbot says, amen, consent is all you need. High Noon says, I listened to the meditation podcast you all did on Stay Sparked. Gratitude. I really saw my meditation practice intertwined in that podcast insights. Thank you. That's I think our latest one. I think it's a fun one for the dynamic of Betsy and I, because Betsy is someone who is a practiced meditator, and I'm someone who is dabbling and has more barriers, and so our conversation, I think, was fruitful. And if you've never listened to Stay Sparked, you really should. It's a good one. Sherry says, I'm grateful that pride is a reminder of self-expression, self-love, and authentic self. Bliss rising to you, Echo. Stephanie says, it's probably a bit of both. After 4 decades of hiding my sexuality, even from myself, I married my wife, and I've now seen how freeing and healing authenticity is. Yeah. I was talking with Lisa this morning about the human journey is one where we are raised with, we're acculturated, we're taught and given the patterns and behaviors and limitations so that we fit into the culture. We learn to do what we should do. And then, hopefully, we start to dismantle that. And sometimes the dismantling it puts us in a tough situation. We have to decide, like, hey, this thing that's true about me, or this thing I resonate with, is at odds with the status quo. And then you have to decide, well, what are the consequences to that? Like, there's some consequences where you're like, I have to be private about that. Like, and depending on where you live and who's in charge in the government and where your country is, and like, you might just say, I cannot do this openly because the risk is too great. Or you might say, there's risk, but I am so clear of what is true to me. It could be your religious beliefs, it could be your sexuality, it could be your political beliefs, it could be any number of things. And we have to then go through the sometimes complicated and difficult process of saying, can I, is the feeling of being in alignment with my truth strong enough, powerful enough, worth enough to deal with the potential consequences? And that's the spiritual journey of growing up. It's hard, because sometimes it's the culture that knocks you down. Sometimes it's the laws that oppress you. Sometimes it's friends and family that you lose over a decision that, I don't believe in Mormonism. I can't be a part of this church anymore. And the consequences could be excommunication and loss of your family. So you might decide, I don't believe, but I am going to play the role because the consequences at this point in my life, it's the cost benefit is just not worth it yet. Or it may not ever be, and that's okay. That's why you should never out someone who's in the closet. That's everyone's choice to make. Lisa says, happy Pride indeed. I am grateful for my gorgeous, resilient, inspiring, courageous, fantastical LGBTQ community. And thank you for helping me with all those letters. Stephanie says, I have been off antidepressants for 6 years now, and I know living in my authentic lesbian self is a big contributor. Oh my gosh, I'm going to read that one more time because That is so awesome. I have been off antidepressants for 6 years now, and I know living in my authentic lesbian self is a big contributor. I'm a believer in medication. I was on anti-anxiety and antidepressant meds for 10 years, and I needed them. They helped me. They helped me to learn how my brain had the potential of working. But as I am pro-medication, I also recognize that so much of what causes a brain to function below its potential is culture and the world we live in. And so, fuck yeah for finding a way to change your chemistry through bravery and courage and alignment with your truth. High Noon says, I see the world of disabilities in a world of ableists. It's hard when the world thinks you have more limits and puts you in boxes. I've taken on that pain and now speaking up with love, kindness. Nice. That's an area that I don't have a lot of experience with, and I admittedly walk lightly. Man! Who else here is inspired by Stephanie's story? I'm inspired by everybody here. Every single person here who has taken a moment from their day to focus on gratitude and connection. That's the inspiration that helps me to lead my best life. And let's weave that into the other part of Hug Nation Love Mornings. It's the gratitude and also the appointment with ourselves to remind ourselves who we want to be today. In the context of this conversation, I'm reminded that I want to be a cheerleader to everyone who is having the courage to radically self-express, whatever that means. To have the courage to be their authentic selves, to be their weirdo, to be their whatever identity is hard and not embraced by the status quo. I want to be a cheerleader to all those that are boldly being their truth, because it is so helpful. It is so inspiring. Every one of us, no matter what we think of our stage is, we are an example to others. So let's not diminish the importance of the way we walk through the world. So I want to be a cheerleader. I want to role model. I want to be as friendly as possible. I want to demonstrate kindness. I want to be a good listener. I want to go beyond what feels natural in terms of reaching out and initiating connection with strangers, with friends, with my family. I want to be present. I want to be present in the moments of my life while they're happening and treasure time with people I love. I want to treasure the beautiful function of my body, knowing that it is all temporary. And I want to appreciate the incredible gift of being able to use technology and share vibrations from my vocal cords into a bunch of pieces of equipment and have it be heard by you, and know that in this surreal sci-fi scenario, we're connected. You're literally feeling the physical vibrations coming from my body, being received in your body, and we are connected in this lifetime. Thank you for this moment. Wherever you are, give yourself a big old squeeze, feeling gratitude for this moment, gratitude for our bodies, gratitude for our courage, gratitude for the courage of the people around us, gratitude for the awareness that even in this often challenging world, there are so many things to celebrate and appreciate, so many reasons to give thanks for our lives. Gratitude for the interconnectedness from the people that we see every day and the people that we may never see in person, but still knowing that our ripples touch one another, that we impact one another, that we inspire one another, and that we comfort one another. As we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of us here, thanks for joining me for this Hug Nation Love Morning. I love you. Tomorrow's First Saturday, so if you are in San Diego, join me. We're meeting at noon. You can always reach out and ask for more details. Oh, I also put up a new Hug Monster video on YouTube, so if you search for a Hug Monster show on YouTube, there's a new video. In fact, should I just play that right now? Maybe I'll play that right now. Good morning, Natasha! Natasha's grateful. My hubs comes back today with the new dogs and my bonus kid. Family will be full this weekend. Also a pug meetup. Whoa, that's a full weekend! All right, let's see if I can make this work. Let's try to... this? I don't know. It's gonna be worth it if I can make it work. Yeah, sure.
I love Monster.
Can you hear that?
I love chocolate cake as much as you love syrup.
Wait a minute. Are you for real with this chocolate cake thing? I mean, I have been very aware of pancake, but are you saying there are other types of cakes? And this chocolate cake? You think it's better than syrup? Okay. Maybe we should tell the world that this exists. We should let people know that there is chocolate cake in the world. How wonder... Wait. Maybe we should keep it a secret. Just Bros. Can you put syrup on chocolate cake? Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Thank you for telling me about this cake. I love you.
Aw, you gotta love Hug Monster. Happy Friday, everyone. Enjoy the day.